Sarah here from the Magickal Creatrix, and I'm joined by the lovely Lisa Parks today, who I will introduce properly in a moment. But first of all, while Facebook is telling you guys that we're on for our coffee and cards event this morning, I'm just going to very quickly check and make sure that I am absolutely in the right place, because you just never know, do you? So let's have a little scroll down here. Yes, I can see that we're there. There's our faces. So, yay! So, if you're around, come and say hello. So, we're having coffee and cards this morning. So, this is the lovely... Oh, it's this way. I'm seeing the two faces. You probably can't see that bit, Lisa, but I get to see the double screen. So, I'm actually doing it the wrong way there for a moment. So, this is the lovely Lisa Parks. She is the Smiley Coach, and I am super, super excited to have you here, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It's going to be great fun. So we'll just wait a moment. We'll let everybody come along, and I'll just double check. You have got your coffee?
I have got my coffee, and look at my mug. This is my favourite.
I love that. That's like the happiest mug ever. Perfect.
Do you know, Sarah, I was born on Valentine's Day, and all my work is centred around love. And so I was 2 weeks early, so I knew.
Yeah. That is absolutely amazing, isn't it? Especially coming 2 weeks early. It's like you really, really had to be born on Valentine's Day. I think that's amazing. Oh, I love that. That's fab. So while everyone's coming along here, we've got some people I can see. So say hi if you're around. I can see some people popping on in there. And we're just going to be having a bit of a chat about Lisa's journey with cards. Lisa has also produced a fantastic deck, and she's going to take us through that and go into much more detail. So rather me butcher the description of that, I'm going to wait until we get to that point so you can explain about your deck in much more detail and correctly, rather than me making stuff up as I go along. And then we're just going to kind of talk about what's going on with Lisa right now. She's got some great things going on. She's got the energy pod that's happening right now as well. And we'll just find out a bit more about what's happening. So I would love to start a little bit about your own card journey then. So do you read tarot and oracle for yourself?
I do, for myself and for my friends, and started doing it about 10 years ago. I went and had some Reiki, so I was quite depressed, and there was stuff going on in my life. And I worked in the corporate world then, so my world was like completely different. I hadn't been opened up to all this stuff.
Right.
And my Reiki teacher did Doreen Virtues. I'll grab them.
Oh yes.
Mermaids and dolphins.
Oh, fab.
And so this was my favourite
Yeah.
deck, and actually I still do it every day, sometimes twice a day.
Brilliant.
So I find them reassuring. I find them, I've got really strong intuition, which I didn't realise I had when I first started using the cards. I didn't listen to myself. I was rubbish. I wasn't in my body. I was up here in my head, which most of us who've got anxiety know that's where we live a lot of the time. And I found that they really grounded me, and they kept reflecting back to me what I knew to be true for myself. And that is why I love them so much.
Yeah. Definitely. And I can totally relate to that, because I'm similar to you. I call myself quite whizzy. So I kind of operate up here at a very fast pace, which means I miss messages, I miss signs, I ignore my intuition. I'm convinced I don't have any of that. And it's only when people sort of just slow me down and make me sort of calm down a little bit. And that's what cards do for me. So that really, really helps. And I can see, sort of, especially for suffering from anxiety and things, it does, if I'm having anxious moments, sometimes just listening to a message and getting a little bit of truth told, which is why I like mixing decks as well, because sometimes I need a kind word, sometimes I need a kick up the arse, in all honesty. So you pick the appropriate deck for the job at hand, don't you, really? So we've got a few people coming on and saying hi. Got hi Paula, nice to see you. Hi Jenny as well, and hi Nikki, nice to see you guys. Lovely that you've joined us. So when you use your cards yourself on a daily basis, do you tend to just pull one card a day, or do you do sort of little mini readings? What's your favorite way of doing this?
I like to pull 3 cards, but normally for me, I was taught that 3 cards are like past, present and future. But again, because I don't know, you kind of develop your own little ways of doing them. I pull 3. I think I heard you talking about this the other day. When you pull 3 and you go, nah, that doesn't make any sense. So then you shuffle and you draw again, and then you get the same one. It comes back, and then you're like, and then as the day goes on, that card makes more sense to you. And again, that's that impatience thing of like, finding it hard to trust, and knowing that even though we're never sure, are we? Life is uncertain, and and obviously when you've got anxiety, you're trying to control things because you don't feel safe. So you're looking for certainty. But I think it's more than that. So I do the 3 cards, and I normally find that I've got my own interpretation of what they mean. So for those of you who've got businesses, in this deck, we've got Waves of Prosperity. Whenever I draw this card, I get a little PayPal gift from the universe.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm doing a project that feels a little bit stuck and the energy feels wrong and I'm trying too hard with it, I often get this one. Set your sights higher.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
So it's like, this one isn't for you. Stop knocking at that door. Go sit down, go back to the drawing board. And when you're self-employed, you are like flooded with ideas every day. You must find that, Sarah, because you're so creative in that, all the beautiful artwork that you draw.
Thank you very much. It is, and it's frustrating because there's days where my artwork flows really nicely, and there's days where I try and draw something and honestly it's like I've got no hands. It's awful, I can't do anything. It's really, and that is so frustrating because I can't switch it on and off as well. I don't have much control over that, and sometimes it's relating to something else. So it could be because I'm feeling stressed, I'm overwhelmed, there's something going on in my head, and I'm not in my creative center. I'm all up here instead, and I can't create if I'm in my head. Absolutely. So it's been a big learning curve for me lately as well, because obviously where I came from as the productivity princess, things were very, very organized, and I'm having to kind of let go of the reins. So for somebody like me, that is like, my God, I am so out of my depth right now. And I think cards help us to connect with those parts of us that we refuse to let in sometimes, don't they?
They do. And I'm the same with my creativity. And I'm like, I can relate to what you're saying because I go in circles. So I find that and I don't think this is a healthy way to be, because again, I'm so all or nothing. And that's another symptom of having that sort of black and white thinking, which is most people with anxiety have, is that when I get my creative on, I'll stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning to complete the task at hand, because I'm so afraid that it's not going to come back.
Yeah, I have
that.
You
do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I daren't stop, even if I'm exhausted, even if I know it's going to have a knock-on effect to how tomorrow is going to be for me. I'm worried that if I sleep on it tomorrow, somebody switched that creativity off, my ideas have gone. And, I've never managed to prove or disprove this because I live in fear that's vanished. So it's kind of, I have to complete it. I hate leaving things unfinished, which has always been a big problem for me as well, which is why I think I concentrate on smaller pieces of artwork, because I'm worried that if I do something big, it'll remain unfinished for the rest of its life. And that'd be horrible. So, yeah, I totally understand that one. Isn't that amazing? I wonder if this is very much a mindset of a lot of creative and artistic people. And, sometimes we don't see ourselves as being creative or artistic because we're in this constant fight. So it was actually, my change in business was only because somebody said, oh, hold on a minute, you're actually really good at this. I was like, no, I don't do stuff like that. And then it's kind of sort of snowballed a little bit, and it's brilliant. But is that very similar for you, where you kind of, you don't feel as though you're creative and you're always in this like little bit of a flux with yourself?
Yeah. But also I think this time round this year, so I launched a product at the end of last year and I didn't do anything with it. And obviously there was some sort of block in me. And then I got really sick after Christmas. And I was like, okay, the universe just wants you to have a little holiday. Just put your feet up and just chill out. So I had to. And then this time when the idea came in, I was kind of a bit like, do you know what? I'm going to enjoy it. So my goal setting for this year was all around the one word of fun, because last year work got really serious. Because obviously I am working with families who've got mental health and they've got children who've got ADHD, ADD, all sorts of, they have a big struggle. So it gets quite intense. So my one word is, and so that really helped me with this project, because I was like, does this bring me fun? Yes. And then my energy was different in my approach. That got rid of the fear a little bit, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, you must be absorbing energies that are coming from, frantic parents who are struggling with what's going on with their kids right now, not being able to understand, and then kids that are struggling to not being able to communicate properly with their parents. There's a lot of anxiety and high energy there, isn't there? So, is that something you find you tend to absorb a little bit in your daily life too?
Massively. And so self-care has to be like have to, and I'm get better at it, but I'm not brilliant. But I have to zip up, protect myself, and I normally do like a little cleaning myself down ritual, whether that's lying in the bath or even just brushing. And I spray the room before the next client comes in with like a spray to clear the energy.
Yeah.
And you know, all the boys that are doing stinky trumps in my room.
All the joys of children. Oh, fantastic. We've got some more people saying hello on here. So we've got Fran. Hi, Fran. Hi, Elizabeth. Hello, Heidi. And Paul has just said there as well. I get that, Sarah. I can't paint and draw when I'm stuck in my head. Yeah, it's really hard. It needs much more kind of a relaxed state, doesn't it, to actually happen. And I think there's sometimes when I've drawn or painted something and I look at it after it's finished and I don't remember doing it. And it's because I've managed to zone out completely. And that's when I know it's good. When I've been trying to create something deliberately, it all just turns into a complete mess and I have to walk away from it before I get really angry. So I get quite stressed out when I can't do something, but I want to do it there and then. So, you know, using cards and trying to learn more about myself, because it's not like I want to fix myself, because I don't see myself as broken. I just see myself as needing to understand me and my little nuances, the things that make me unique a little bit more, and being kind of kinder about that. And I suppose that probably comes on to how you are talking with parents about what's going on with their kids, because their kids aren't broken, are they? They just need understanding.
And that's I think I've only recently probably started trying to get that message across to people, because I think when we want to fix things outside of ourselves, first of all, it's like, well, we're not focusing on ourselves because we're not actually in control of that other person. And this is not with judgment. It's just very common because parents love their kids so much. When they see their children struggle, it's really hard for them to sit on their hands and allow. But that's how we develop emotional resilience. So it's like jumping in a muddy puddle. So if you don't jump in the muddy puddle and get muddy, you can't jump out again and know that actually you can wash the mud off, or you can learn to walk around the puddle next time. But if every time they come across the muddy puddle, parents like shout at them, stop, don't go in there, or stand in front of it and protect them, when they leave home, they're going to be drowning in muddy puddles. So
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it does. And, you know, I think all of us can relate to something in our past that has been an experience with our parents, which has then left us fearful of an event. You know, I'm convinced that my fear of spiders is because my dad screamed like a girl when I was a child, when there was one in the room. I hope you can't hear me. But, you know, that's kind of like, you know, that's what I saw happening. Therefore, that small black thing that's running across the living room floor must be terrifying. And that's the same with anything in life, isn't it? And, you know, there's a very hard sort of line where you try not to cross between kind of being a protective parent and being overprotective. And, you know, it's really difficult. So how do your cards, the cards that you've created, let's come on to those a little bit, since we're going in that direction. We'll come back onto your the cards that you use on a daily basis as well. But the cards that you've created to help parents and children communicate with each other a little bit better. Would you like to tell us a bit more about those? Because I'm really excited about this. Oh, I think we've just lost Lisa there, guys. Just hang on for a moment. Hopefully she will be back up in a moment. Bear with. I'll check out some of the comments here as well while we're just waiting for Lisa to pop back on there. So Paul has just said there, yeah, me too. If I try and force it, it's shocking. Yeah, it is for me too. And Jenny's saying, I've got 2 boys with ADHD and the younger of 2 having ODD too. So yeah, so you understand sort of the behavioural things there as well. Carol, morning, Carol. Nice to see you there. Nikki, that's so true. The beliefs we have are from what we've grown up with. Very much so. And Rebecca, hi, Rebecca. Nice to see you. And hi, Julie, as well. Julie's saying Lisa's cards are great, even for big grown-up kids. Oh, fantastic. So let me just see if I can help Lisa get back on there. Are you able to get back with the link? Oh, and we'll see. Oh, here we go. I think we're back. Hi, Lisa. We're back. Oh, we're back. We thought we'd lost you for a moment. I just went through some of the comments and things while you were there. Are you all right there?
I could see myself, and it was
really?
It was flashing live, and I was thinking, oh no, what's happened? And then I was thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to get back in the room?
Fantastic. I'm so glad you're back. Brilliant. Fingers crossed we're all right. So Trudy's just saying morning as well. Hi. Nikki's saying my daughter and I love the Smiley Thought Cards. So brilliant. So tell us about them. I'm really excited because I've seen pictures of them on your Instagram, but I've not seen them in the real. So let's have a little look. These are exciting.
So, they're called Get Your Happy On, and there's 40 Smiley Thought Cards in a deck. And there's only 1,000 boxes of these in the whole world at the moment.
Wow. That's amazing.
I did them as a bit of a personal indulgence project, but also initially, but also to obviously support families. So you get 40, I'll show you in a minute what they look like. You get 40 cards in a deck, and then you also get 2 blank ones so the kids can make their own smiley thoughts.
Great idea. I like that.
To get creative, and we all need to get in touch with that creative. I think mums like these as well, because we've all got a 9-year-old inside of us that needs love and attention. And mums will say, I do the cards more than the kids do at the moment.
Yeah.
So you get
that's great. It's helping everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for families. And we're very visual learners, and we need reminders and prompts and visual cues. So you could leave them out on the coffee table or on the kitchen table, or put them in the car, in the well of the car, so that when the kids are bored in the car, let's pull a card. You can just create habits around them, so they become part of your, like we do our cards every day in the morning with our cup of tea or whatever.
Brilliant.
So we've got 10 positivity cards, which are rainbows. So let me see if I can find a positivity card. So can you see they're like photographs, and then they've got illustrations over them?
Oh, yes.
So rainbows are for positivity.
Yeah.
And then, so there's 10 of those, and then there's 10 encouragement cards. So we've got sun for encouragement.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love that.
And then we've got hearts for love.
Oh, fab. I love the images and stuff. It's just so welcoming, isn't it? Really lovely vibe to them.
Thank you. And then we've got purple stars for confidence.
Brilliant.
So you have all different types. And I say to the children, we say they're magical cards. And because, children have a lot less limiting beliefs than us. And even the older children are like, nah. And then you pull a card at the end of a session, and it's very pertinent to what you've been talking about. And I said, we just said that. And they were like, and they get a bit freaked out.
Yeah. That's great, though, because it's helping them get out of their own heads as well, isn't it? That's where, once you decide that there's a barrier, there's a set of rules about things, and that, this kind of magical energy can't occur, then it's a shame because you lose it, don't you? And I think to keep that for as long as possible as a child, because it's only later in life that we try and get it all back again. But we have like a good 20-year period where we don't have it at all, I think, don't we? And you just go, hold on a minute, where did the magic go? And that's such a shame.
I know. You have to look for it, don't you? That's what I teach the children as well. Like, you need to look for it every day, do your gratitude practice, and that shifts your thinking as well, doesn't it? And sometimes it's really hard. Like, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a happy clapper. And there are cards in here about saying, if you're sad, cry. If you're angry, do this. I'm not saying wallpaper over the cracks, but I'm saying if you fall in a puddle and you can't get out, if you've been in the puddle for too long and your wellies are a bit damp, then you need to do some other things to help yourself so you don't stay stuck in the puddle.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think they're a fantastic idea. So what do you do with the families then? How do you encourage them to use these cards?
So I've written a little ebook, which is free. So I might give you the link for that afterwards so people can go and have a read of it if they want. And it's got 28 ways to basically turn your frown upside down.
Oh, that's great.
But
and we'll get the link for the cards as well, so if anybody's interested in getting a pack of the cards too to use, I'll make sure I pop the link in here afterwards, and so everyone's got that to be able to come along and have a look. So what's the biggest sort of resistance you maybe see from some of the kids? Is it some of the boys maybe?
Do you know what? It depends on most of the boys that come to coaching are what I would say are incredibly sensitive. So they're the boys that don't play football. And I feel sad for them, because if you're a boy, like, boys are pack animals, aren't they? They hang around in groups, whereas women are much more comfortable with the one-to-one, the intimacy, that sort of connection.
Yeah.
If you don't play sport as a boy, you are screwed in terms of the playground hierarchy.
Right.
And they're all coming to me, and I'm validating that the way that they are is okay. But just because society isn't accepting of that, don't write yourself off. You have other lovely gifts, like your sensitivity. And they're angry, these boys, when they turn up in my room. But they're not really angry. They're scared and incredibly sad about not belonging and feeling like they're accepted. So what we do is we sort of drill down past the anger and we tap into that sensitivity. And I say to them, not everyone can feel things at the depth you feel, and have the kindness that you give out to people. And then I teach them how to set healthy boundaries so that they only choose to show that vulnerability with the right people that they can trust.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I love that. And I think as well, you know, when you're sort of growing up as a girl and you're going through sort of relationships and things and eventually sort of finding it's the sensitive boy in the end is the one that you want to settle down with, isn't it? Even though that one wasn't the appealing one when you were younger, it was the bad boy and the moody boy. But later on, you're looking for the ones that were sensitive and geeky at school because they've got much more appeal when you get to an older age. So actually, if these kids can embrace it and be comfortable with that side of them, they're going to make some lovely partners in future life, aren't they? You know, they're going to be nicely well-rounded. And it's weird how it's not quite the way that it's supposed to be in the playground, but it's much better for later in life, definitely.
For sure. And I tell them that as well. And so the temperament of child that I mostly work with is what we would consider, I don't really like labels, but the strong-willed sensitive child. So they have this huge heart and this real big sensitivity and strong intuition. Some people might know them as indigos or indigo children. And they have this tenacity. They have this tenacity that you know, like that, they've got great leadership skills because they will never give up on anything. They just keep trying and trying and trying. But as a parent, that is so tough. Parenting is tough anyway, but that's a tough gig because this child appears to get into power struggles with you at every turn. And this child does not do as it's told. It's not obedient. This was me growing up, by the way. And this child... but this child is actually coming from a place of integrity. So when they exercise their strong will, it's not because they're being defiant or they're trying to piss you off. It's actually because they have strong integrity and they believe that what they're doing is the right thing and that's their truth.
That's amazing, isn't it? And then trying to kind of get to the point that the parent and the child both understand what that struggle is about. That must be a really powerful moment for them, actually. Because I think just understanding, it's like, you know, it's the same as if you've got something wrong with you and you go to the doctors. As soon as somebody tells you what it is, you go, right, okay, I feel much better about that now. You know, it's when it just looks like you're at all out war with someone. And, you know, these conflicts don't just happen between parent and child. We do this ourselves, but, you know, that's why I like the cards for me, for my daily guidance, because, you know, I spend most of my time in a little daily head battle that goes on up here. That's, you know, 1 minute it's criticizing me and the next minute it's telling me I'm brilliant. You know, it's like mixed messages or what, and that happens all day long. And I think, you know, if you're a kid and you're going through that too, and how do you express that? So are the cards helping them express some of these things that are going on? Then they're able to it's given them like a starting point to then have a discussion.
Yeah, and that is exactly it. And I know what you're saying about the battle, Sarah, and I'm totally right next to you going, me too, because I have that too, and it's exhausting. But with the cards, they're also really good for parents because some children find it really hard, because children just want their parents' approval and love all the time, to talk about subjects which make them feel bad inside. So when you talk about the cards, when you talk about the pictures that are on the cards, and maybe I could do a little demo with you, maybe we could do a bit of ask the cards about your creativity and how you can get that flowing a bit more. But when you use the cards, it's like you're talking about the pictures on the cards, but obviously you're not. It's just reflecting back what's going on inside of you. And it gives you a real insight into how your child's feeling or what's going on for them. So then you don't have to make it a big deal and say, well, you shouldn't have done that to your brother, or you shouldn't have been in there, because you can then just go, so what are you going to do next time then? And then no one has to feel wrong or bad or shamed. You can just see it as a lesson and then move on.
That's brilliant. And you know, these like you were saying about the sensitive kids, they're going to think about that and actually take that lesson on board as well, because they're the ones that go away, really mull it over, put everything in its place, and then the next time they can change that action, because that's kind of the behavior that's in there, isn't it? So yeah, I'm one of those. I'm the sulky, moody one that has to think through what she's done for a while before she and then come back to it later. So, but I'm a stroppy Leo. I can't help it.
Oh, are you a Leo?
I am, yes. And the red hair as well. So yeah, very fiery. Can be fiery as long as if I'm kept to a nice level, I'm all right.
Well, we can all be tricky at times, but you can't really have dark without light, can you? It's just your shadow, isn't it?
Absolutely, definitely. So I would love a demo then. Let's go. Let's do it.
Go. Right. So I'll do what I do with the kids. So I say, Sarah, can you blow on my cards for me so you can put your energy on the cards? Beautiful. Right. So this is a card for Sarah, and we need a card to help her with her creativity, because sometimes she gets a little bit stuck with it. And I know that Sarah likes bathing in the moonlight. So let's see what the cards say. Then I fan them towards my heart, and I just close my eyes, and then I just pick one. Oh. So sometimes I'll say, what do you see when, I'll tell you what I think, but you tell me what you think when you see this card, maybe the words or the picture. Look at that is that a sunset or a sunrise?
Oh, yes, I think sunrise. That's my mornings. That's just reaffirming that's my most important time of the day. Absolutely.
And so you really need that, like the air that you breathe. And I was also thinking that because the back of the card has a little message.
Oh.
So can you see that?
I can't quite see it from here.
I read it. It
says,
make the most of each day. You always have a choice to change something. So I wonder if that's about remembering that you have choices, but also it's a bit like, don't go to the bin and drag out yesterday's leftovers for your dinner. Cook yourself a nice meal. So it's about leaving everything behind in yesterday and starting afresh.
Yeah, that is very, very apt for me, and that picture is perfect, because that's how I start my every single day. Is I'm either sat outside and it's still dark, or I'm seeing the sunrise at the morning, because now it's actually getting to that time where I'm actually seeing it, and it resets me. If I don't do that, I don't feel the same all day long. So it's brilliant. That's a perfect card,
isn't it?
Yes, that's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm a big believer in the magic. Absolutely. Oh, I love that. It's fabulous. Yeah. So I would love to know a bit more about your cards, what you do then. So we had the mermaids and dolphins ones. Yeah. What else do you like to work with yourself?
I've got these little, can you see my beautiful little bowl with the birdie on?
Oh, yes.
These are where's the box for them? I don't know where the box is, but these are really tiny. Can you see, like teeny tiny angel cards?
Oh, they're lovely.
Oh, look what I've just picked. Funny.
Go on, what was that one? Acceptance. Yes.
And then there's a little picture of an angel going into a door saying welcome.
They're lovely.
So they're quite nice for a quick burst. I leave them on the shelf, and if I'm walking past and I'm feeling a bit angsty and I've gone up in my head, I'm a bit like, pull one of those.
I love that. I love the idea of having, because with my cards, they're all kind of boxed away in shelves and things, except for a couple of decks which I seem to carry from room to room for some reason. But just having something that's in a little bowl, so you walk past and you just, same as you would if you had like just a bowl of nuts or something, and you'd sort of pick as you were going. I think that's a brilliant way to do it. There should be more like that. They're absolutely lovely, those little cards. I think they're gorgeous.
They're beautiful.
Oh, Paul is just saying, I like the bird dish. The bird dish.
I think it's from Laura Ashley. It's a present from a friend. Other brands are available.
So what else do you use then?
So I also use now this is when I do my new moon full moon wishes, wishes, full moon releasing. Yeah. I do a Celtic cross with these ones.
Oh, fantastic. I like it, Angel. Yeah.
I draw it out in let's have a look at some of these. I draw it out in my journal, and then what my Celtic crosses are then journal on each card.
Brilliant.
To get a deeper understanding of what that might mean for me. So when you're setting your intention and you're asking for what you want to the universe, that's a really good way to get you to be really prescriptive about what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also when you're releasing, it's really lovely to put pen to paper and just set that free.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. I think that's great. I like doing tarots and cards on the new and full moon as well. So these are lovely. I've got this deck and I think they're absolutely great. They were one of the very first tarot decks I got when I started getting back into tarot again. So yeah, I do like them. They're very nice. The messages are lovely, and they're nice for not feeling as though you need to know all the ins and outs of every single tarot meaning, because they've got that nice bit of information on there as well. So it makes them lovely and relatable, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's like what I was saying at the beginning. I find that as you get to know your cards, they're like old friends, and
Yeah.
when a particular card shows up, you go, "Oh, I know what that means. Oh, I know what that means for me."
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's how tarot readers, because there's, their cards are so well thumbed, aren't they? When they do a
Yeah.
reading, they are
Absolutely.
like old friends, and they carry wisdom and energy, and so, and they do. And I'm always amazed at how you always get the right card, even when you doubt the cards and go to them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I do that quite often. No, I don't want to see that card today. I'm going to pretend it doesn't exist. But then my brain is just going, you need to talk about the card. So yeah, it's brilliant, and it just unlocks that little bit, especially if you're a bit resistant to a bit of information that you really need to hear right now. Your friends couldn't tell you, your parents couldn't tell you, so the only thing you've got left is your cards, isn't it, really? And I think it does just put you in that frame of mind, whether you decide to ignore it for 24 hours or not, you're still going to come back to it eventually, because it's kind of planted that little seed, which works quite nicely. So yeah, I like it for that very much. So
yeah.
So I noticed you're very much, your card type so far, very much about the angels. Is that a big part of your life for you then?
Yeah, I'm always chatting to them. Or my nanny, who I didn't really know, but she used to say that I was her angel. My parents always tell me that.
Yeah.
But she died when I was probably, when I started walking, so about, I don't know, 15 months, like, she died. But I always feel like I've got a strong connection with her. And actually, my name Smiley comes from her, because my dad used to say to me, "Oh my God, you look like my mum when you smile. Oh my God, you look like my mum. You look like my mum."
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? I like that. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I love the fact that you've got that connection. I think that's a really good thing to have. And is that something that's always been there since you were a child then, that very much sort of spoke to the angels, or something you kind of discovered when you got a bit older?
I think when I got older, do you know what? When I was a child, I used to see Shadow Man in our house. And I do talk to children about it if they address it with me. I wouldn't bring it up because I don't want to scare them. But if a child... So Shadow Man's quite well known, and it can either be a projection of all the negativity in the house, if there's some sort of trauma or abuse going on in the house, or it can actually be a spirit. And it's not always a bad one, but it looks like a man. I used to see him on my periphery vision going up the stairs, and it looks like a man in a... I'm thinking of like Jack the Ripper, like with a tall hat on and a black cloak.
I know what you mean. Yeah, scary. So that must have been quite frightening when you were a kid, then, wasn't it?
I don't think I believed it, because I used to push that part of me away, and then I think I must have gotten to a certain age where schoolwork took over and the pressures of school, and I stopped seeing him, and I obviously projected my fears onto something else because of the schoolwork. But I never ever really got into angels until I went to see this Reiki lady, and she showed me the cards, and she said, listen for songs on the radio, look for feathers and coins, always be, like present, so that you can see what the universe is trying to tell you. And I don't really use that in my work with the children, because I think it's a little bit too out there for them to wrap their heads around.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's going to be, you've got enough work on with them at the moment, haven't you, rather than sort of saying, right, okay, now I want you to believe in angels as well. Yeah. But I suppose some of them, they might sort of go on to that sort of thing. And I love the fact that, it's become more normal, for want of a better word, to have this as part of your life, isn't it? In fact, it's almost recommended, because it is kind of therapy. It's sort of warming and comforting. And, I always relate it a little bit to, how sort of people who are very devout religiously, that belief system really keeps them strong and keeps them sort of unified. And this is just a different form of it, isn't it? It's just a different belief. And as long as you have that belief, that hope, and you're always looking inward, and you're asking yourself the right questions, it's amazing what you can get from that. And it is so powerful. Do you know, it doesn't matter if you believe in unicorns, leprechauns, or angels, it makes no difference. It's as long as that belief is something that's positive, and that's kind of helps you sort of conduct your life in a really, really positive and genuine way. I think it could be absolutely anything, and I love it for that. And I love the fact it's so popular these days. So
it's so
great.
true. And I think because we're creatures of searching for meaning, you know, like when things go wrong, instead of blaming, it's more helpful, isn't it, to come from a place of curiosity. And I find the cards help me make sense of things which at the time anger me or frustrate me or annoy me. And then they sort of help me to sort of take a step back. And instead of getting in it and getting angsty with it, I can go, actually, maybe that's about that, and that's going to help me. And just like you say, it's having a faith, isn't it? It's a faith.
It is, absolutely. And and it can be absolutely anything. And I love that. I really do. I think it's fab. And it's great that we're sort of getting opened up to so many different possibilities now. You know, I mean, we're in a very similar online world, aren't we? Where we've got some wonderful business owners around us who have got these amazing creative and spiritual businesses. And there's things I'm hearing about in terms and words and, belief systems that I've never heard of before. And they're fascinating. You know, each one of them is just absolutely, it's fascinating. And I think that's what I love about using tarot and oracle is the themes within those help us transport into our own belief system, because there's so many different things available. So I'm very much into for an oracle deck at the moment. This is my like daily quick fix one, is my fairy forest, and I love that because it's gorgeous. The artwork's beautiful as well. You can sort of see a few of the cards.
Sarah, pull us a card because I really like her. I've got these ones. I've got the shapeshifters, but I haven't seen that deck.
Yeah, it's lovely, absolutely lovely. Yes, I've got the shapeshifters
Would you mind
as well.
pulling me a card? Not pulling a card.
Absolutely. Let's have a lovely card, lovely Lisa. Let's see what we've got for you today. Yeah, these are absolutely gorgeous, and I'm loving these for my daily one. And I think because they're very nature based, I think that kind of works nicely for me after I've spent my morning in the garden. How weird's that? Shapeshifter. Just after you've lifted up that deck. It's that gorgeous as well. So this one for me, it's your instinct. It's trusting your instincts. It's trusting your intuition. And do you know what's funny is I really think that you need to actually use that deck of cards you've just lifted up to me this morning, that shapeshifter deck, because I think that's what it's directing you towards. I think you need a little reading, because it's just funny how that's way too much of a coincidence.
But also I'm hearing that what we've talked about a lot today is about intuition and connecting and listening into yourself, and how that is what brought me to the cards in the first place, because I'm a massive self-doubter. And also that's a real confirmation for me that actually, Lisa, there's still work to be done there, because at times I really am dismissive of myself, and in a conflict situation, I'm not my own cheerleader. I'm not my own best friend. I make myself wrong very easily, and then I start to lose myself in the other person's stuff. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, and just look at her face. Look at the confidence there. You know, that's somebody who is actually trusting and believing in their instincts and their intuition without any doubt whatsoever. So that is the person that's inside you somewhere, and that's the one that needs to come out.
Looks a bit moody.
I think she's just very, very determined, very confident. Those eyes.
Well, is that like an owl hat on her head? Like a wise owl,
Yeah, definitely. So it's the inner wisdom. It's all there. It's all ancient wisdom. It's knowledge you already know to be true. It's just actually accepting that is the different part of it, isn't it? So, yeah. But I think you definitely need to do a reading with your shapeshifter cards today.
I just pulled one. Look what I got.
What one's that say? Oh, lift it up slightly. Miss Spiderweb. Oh, interesting. What's it say on the bottom of that one? I can't read the words for that one.
It says reconsider your alliances, make new connections. So I think this is really pertinent. It's a personal and a business thing about boundaries.
Yeah.
And about making sure that I hang out with the right sort of people, so that I'm in the right sort of energy, because sometimes I can find myself getting drawn into dramas and toxic places that don't serve me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy to do, isn't it? You know, you get into one drama and then you can kind of get engulfed by quite a few. And, I do like to kind of stay on the sidelines of drama the best I can. But then there's also that kind of risk of staying on the sidelines so much that you almost isolate yourself. So you have to have a little bit of kind of give and take for both of that, don't you? Otherwise, you're too far out of it or you're too far in it. And finding that happy medium can sometimes be a little bit of a tricky one. So now I was wondering, would you like to use your smiley cards for any of the people on our...
Oh, I would love to. Would anyone like a special message from Smiley? Oh, look, little Smiley's behind me. Can you see her?
I love her. She's so ginger and gorgeous.
All the ginger girls are out in full force this morning.
They are, absolutely. So if you'd like a card, a lovely smiley card this morning from Lisa, just pop in the comments and then I will ask Lisa to go through and pull a card. Nikki,
Sarah, we should call ourselves the Gingerati.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds like a secret organisation. I'm really excited now.
The Gingerati.
You've just made my day. I want to be the Gingerati. I love it. Oh, can we have a card for the lovely Nikki Trigwell, please?
We can. This is a special message for Nikki. So, Nikki, can you blow on my cards, please? Lovely. Right, let's pick a special message for Nikki. Oh, it's a confidence card. It's I am stronger than my worries.
Love that.
And on the other side, it says, focus on what you want and not what you're worried about. What you focus your attention on grows.
That is awesome. Great card. Does that resonate with you right now, Nikki? That'd be interesting to know. Sometimes we just need that little reminder that we are strong, don't we? And until somebody says it to us, you just go, your head's going, I'm weak, I'm crap, everything's rubbish. And you just need to remind yourself. So that's awesome.
And I always think with worries, I say to the kids, worries are thoughts and thoughts can be changed. They're not facts. So you don't need to jump into a thought. You can just watch it go like a passing car. Just watch it whiz away. You don't need to be in it. It's when we get in it that we don't help ourselves. I kind of see myself in this like pool of thoughts, like regularly, like doing this. It's not helpful, is it?
No, it's not helpful, but still I end up there. But the more we recognise it, I think acknowledgement actually helps us get out of that quicker. Your personality type sometimes means you'll always be in that situation, but getting out of it quicker is the sort of the magic, isn't it? That's where you can do it. So can we have a card for the lovely Heidi Webster, please?
We can. Also, I wanted to say, Sarah, that's the flip side of your creativity. That's the yin and yang. Your brain is beautiful. When it's worrying, it's not in its best place. But if you didn't have that sort of brain, you wouldn't be able to draw those beautiful pictures that you draw.
Yeah, very good point. Actually,
come up with all those ideas that you have. So Heidi, can you blow on my cards, please? Thank you for being here, Heidi. I don't know you, but I know Nikki, but I don't know you. So thank you for being here. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a love card. You see that one? It says, I am a good friend to others. So I wonder if you're doubting your place in a friendship or in a relationship. And I'm wondering if you have remembered how lovely you are and how you show up and give to people. I'm wondering if you're also good at receiving stuff from other people. It's on the back, it says, it's a little message from Smiley. It says, list what makes a good friend. The only way to make a friend is to be one. So think about what qualities you want in a friendship and make sure that the people that you're knocking about with have shared values and they have those qualities, because you don't have to put up with anything that's not right for you.
That's it. And I think as well, that one also, to me, makes me think of being friendly to ourselves. Are you treating yourself how you would treat your own friends? Because a lot of the time we do stuff to ourselves that we would never dream of doing to another person. And I think sometimes we have to remember that too, don't we? Because we are mean.
Yeah, the mean girl inside of me, I need to have a word with her, I think.
Yeah, every now and again. I think it's the red hair. I think we've got a mean streak. It comes with ginger.
Gingerati.
Yes, the gingerati in us. Oh dear, that's so funny. So Nikki's just said that, brilliant, just what I needed to hear, spot on, fantastic. Lately I'm in constant battle with my brain thinking negative thoughts. So brilliant. So remember that card, that you are strong enough, definitely. And Heidi just said there, I think I need to be a better friend to perfect card, thank you. Oh, fantastic. So that's worked really well. We've got Carol Tully now for a card.
Hello. Oh, Carol, I'm not going to sing. Can you blow on my cards? There was a song, wasn't there, old Carol?
What's that?
Right. Yeah.
You definitely sound like you were going to break into one for a moment there.
I just got my dad in my head singing "Oh Carol." That's just what happened.
Oh, brilliant! Love it.
My dad's lovely, Carol. So you're all right. Oh, it's a confidence card. Look, little boy up a tree. I choose to be confident. So it says, smile. Confident people want to make the most out of life. Smile at as many people as you can today. So it is a choice, isn't it? And I think we kind of think that people are born being confident, and obviously our self-esteem is nurtured by our families and our parents, but our confidence is something that we can learn. And I do teach that to children. I run a confidence workshop, and I teach them how to be confident in their body language and in the way that they speak to themselves. So if you're not feeling very confident or you're doubting yourself, you can do it.
Yeah, and I think you're right about it's something that can be learned. It's sometimes confidence isn't as easy because it's a personality trait. So our particular personality means confidence doesn't come as naturally as it does to other people. But we spend so much time maybe learning new skills and things like that we forget stuff like increasing some of our weaker personality traits so that they are a little bit stronger, so that they don't dominate and take over. And things like confidence, it can be built, can't it? And reaffirming things, doing something good and getting sort of told that worked really well, or praising yourself, both of those things give you massive confidence too. So it's another part of the journey, isn't it?
And also a lot of the children have a lot of negative connotations around who they deem to be confident in the playground. So they're going, oh, they're show-offs, or they're really loud. Actually, people who are truly confident from the inside out have got nothing to prove. So they're not like that at all. And the children who are showing up like that, that's all bravado, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And we only work that kind of twist out later on in life, don't we? So it's no wonder we're very, very confused when we're young, because that person that seems like the playground bully seems like the confident one, but actually they've probably got a lot more going on than you think. So I agree with you completely there. So, and we've got Elizabeth Dutchak as well on there as well.
Hi Elizabeth, do you want to blow on my cards? Because I'd like some of your energy. Thank you. And we're going to pull a card for Elizabeth. It's a very royal name.
It's lovely, isn't it? I love the name Elizabeth.
Oh, you've got a positivity card. Amazing things happen to me all the time. Oh, this is a beautiful one, Elizabeth, because you can make a wish. So on the back, it's like a wishing card. It says, whisper a wish into your hands and release it into the sky, and now watch it come true.
Oh, I love that. How magical is that? That's gorgeous. So I hope you do that today, Elizabeth. That's lovely. And Carol just said there, confidence would be something that I try and teach my child. He would be very like the boys you were describing earlier.
Yeah, what, the sensitive ones that feel like they don't fit in? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So it's about recognizing that sensitivity is a gift, and just choosing the right people to show it to. Often boys will say, like, I want to cry at school, not because they're hurt, but because their feelings have been hurt, or they've failed something, and it's awful, isn't it? Because they can't cry. And then what happens is, when they don't cry at school, they let all of that sadness build up inside them, and then they go home and they're furious. It turns into anger. Yeah.
And I think it does for us, the amount of times, when we get kind of overworked, or people aren't hearing us, inside you can get quite angry, and people you take it out on are the ones closest to you. You'll come in from work, or you'll go downstairs from working in your business, and the first person you see is the person who gets snapped at, and it's not their fault. And, we're doing exactly the same things as the kids are, but they're not then able to dissect that without a little bit of help, are they? So, yeah.
No.
Fantastic. I love that. That's absolutely brilliant. So was one more thing I wanted to kind of talk about before we finish for the day, and that was your energy pod. So what is this? This sounds exciting.
So the energy pod is a weekly workout for your emotions, and it's about emotional and mental health. And I've developed it because I think there's something like 16 million people in the UK who've got who suffer with mental health issues. There's a lot of us that don't really understand our emotions and have got low emotional intelligence. And if we don't have that, I think it makes life really difficult. So this is a club that happens on a Monday at 5 o'clock online. It's only £10 per family. You come along and we marinate in Smiley energy. So this week we did the energy of disappointment, because that's where I was at when I thought, what should we do this week? Right, I'm disappointed. Let's do disappointment. So we talked about the children who find it hard to lose, the children who always want to be the best, and the children who don't have that emotional resilience to bounce back. And we drew the energy of disappointment, and we talked about it as a colour. And then we did a guided visualization, and we went to the disappointment pool, and we let the water wash away all the disappointment, and we turned the water from blue into whatever colour the disappointment was for us. And then we made some wishes and blew out a candle, and it's 45 minutes, and it's really simple and fun and light-hearted, but it's actually clearing stuff out of their emotional backpacks and giving them tools and techniques to be able to cope with their feelings more. So that's kind of like my goal.
Brilliant. I absolutely love that. That sounds amazing. I could do with it myself, actually. I think that sounds great. Definitely. So would you do us a favour when we finish? Would you come in and pop your links to your Facebook page, the links to your cards, and also the links to your energy pod into the comments so everyone can come in and have a little look and grab those links as well? Because it's been absolutely amazing having you on here. I've really enjoyed it. This is like, I feel so happy. I can't stop smiling. It's really infectious.
Thank you for having me. I've always felt like we have, you know, when I started following you on social media through Emma, and I just, it wasn't the gingerati thing, it was just your beautiful artwork that caught my eye, and I was like, oh yeah, I like what she's doing there. I like that a lot.
It's nice. I think now you definitely sort of get pulled towards energies that are similar, don't you, throughout your life? And when your own energy and vibration is getting raised, the quality of the people that surround you are much better as well. You know, and I've noticed that all the way through my life, and it's just lovely. I love the sort of people that are around us right now, and you know, it's fab. And you know, businesses like yours, which is all about staying positive and staying happy, and I think that's just beautiful. You know, and the happier we can make our children now, the happier they're going to be as adults later, and that's just going to raise the vibration of the planet in total, isn't it? So I think your mission is amazing and really valuable, so thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
And we'll have to get you back on again in the future as well to do some more smiley cards.
I'd love that. See you
fantastic soon. I will just quickly check some comments before we go.
Okay.
So, Elizabeth has just said that sounds good. Need to get rid of my negative head that blocks my way. So brilliant. So start thinking about that and do the little wish as well. Lindsay saying hi, glad to catch you this morning. Nikki saying thank you both. It was great. And Nikki saying we love the energy pod on Monday too. Really powerful. So, that's fantastic. That's great. It's great to see people that are absolutely loving that as well. So thank you so much for joining me, Lisa. I've really, really enjoyed this, and thank you to everyone that's come along today as well. Lisa's going to pop some comments into the some links and things for you, so you can go and find out a bit more about what she does and the cards and the energy pod as well. And hopefully we will have her back for a chat in the future as well for another coffee and cards. Bye for now.
Bye.